What's up, all you quantum maniacs? I'm DeQwan Young, and today we present 10 trades that saved the team season. Don't forget to subscribe to TPS and make sure you hit the bell and turn on our notifications and join the notification squad. And don't forget to leave your video ideas down in the comments below. We're looking and we'll give you a shout out in the video if we use it. This shout out goes to Q Cumber Mantis for suggesting this video. Now, there's nothing more frustrating for a sports team than when their season already looks lost at the midway point. It's never fun having to throw in the towel so early, and knowing that you have to wait a whole nother year to give it another go. But it doesn't always have to be that way. Throughout the years, some teams have refused to give up. They knew it took just one trade, one move, to completely reverse their fortunes, and boy, were they ever right. Number 10, Amari Cooper heads to Dallas, 2018. The Dallas Cowboys stood at 3-4 following their Week 8 bye, and was due in large part to a very woeful passing game. Ezekiel Elliott was being his usual dominant self, and the Cowboys' ferocious front seven was keeping them in games. But Dak Prescott couldn't do anything with Cole Beasley, Allen Hurns, and Tavon Austin as his only receivers. So owner Jerry Jones pretty much hit the panic button and sent his 2019 first-round pick to the Oakland Raiders, in exchange for struggling Pro Bowl wideout Amari Cooper. It looked like another laugher of a move by Jones, except he wound up being a pure genius here. Cooper debuted for the Cowboys in Week 9, a home game against the Tennessee Titans, which they lost, and Dallas was now 3-5 at the halfway point, and the clock was ticking. Well, the Cowboys finally figured it out offensively, and there was no stopping them in the second half. Cooper, Prescott, and Elliott formed the Cowboys' Triplets 2.0. Dallas won 7 of their final 8 games to lock up the NFC East for the third time in 5 years. Prescott won his first playoff game, leading Dallas to a close wildcard victory over the Seattle Seahawks, before they narrowly fell to the Los Angeles Rams in the divisional round. In 9 games with the Cowboys, Cooper caught 53 passes for 725 yards and 6 touchdowns, averaging 80.6 yards per game. That trade totally saved Dallas this season. Number 9, the Blue Jays go for it all. Get David Price, 2015. The Toronto Blue Jays were barely hanging around in the AL wildcard race during the 2015 season. They had baseball's best offense, led by MVP Josh Donaldson, Edwin Encarnacion, and Jose Bautista. But the Blue Jays pitching was in complete shambles that year, with ace Marcus Stroman injured for most of the season. Toronto stood at 51-51 at the trade deadline, and GM Alex Anthopoulos saw his best chance to get his team back into the postseason. At the deadline, the Jays acquired former Cy Young winner David Price from the Tigers in exchange for 3 prospects. And the Jays would catch fire from there, going 21-6 in August and 18-9 in September to clinch the AL East, ending a 22-year playoff drought in the process. Price went 9-1 with a .230 ERA and 87 strikeouts in 74.1 innings pitched, finishing second in AL Cy Young voting that year. Toronto would defeat the Texas Rangers in the 2015 ALDS before losing to the Kansas City Royals in a tight 6-game ALCS. But rolling the dice on Price was well worth it for Toronto. It made Canadian baseball exciting for the first time in over 2 decades, and it nearly brought home the AL pennant. Number 8, the Colts snagged Eric Dickerson from the Rams, 1987. The Hall of Fame running back was a force for the Los Angeles Rams. He was the 1986 Offensive Player of the Year and won 3 rushing titles with the Rams. It looked like Eric Dickerson was bound to start and finish his career in LA. But early in the 1987 season, the Rams and Dickerson butted heads over a new contract. The decision was made to trade Dickerson in a 3-way blockbuster that included the Buffalo Bills. The Indianapolis Colts landed Dickerson, Buffalo got stud linebacker Cornelius Bennett, and the Rams received running back Greg Bell, plus draft picks. The Colts stood at 3-3 before Dickerson debuted for them in Week 8 against the New York Jets. Dickerson led the Colts to victories in 6 of their final 9 games, and he posted an insane 6 100-yard rushing performances. That's 600 yards, folks. The Colts won their division with a 9-6 record before bowing out to the Cleveland Browns in the AFC divisional round. But where would they have gone without Dickerson? Probably nowhere. Number 7, the Dodgers land Man Ram, 2008. Manny Ramirez had led the Boston Red Sox to World Series championships in 2004 and 07, but his relationship with the organization had soured during their 2008 title defense. Ramirez's lack of effort was often on display. He wasn't running out grounders and didn't seem to try that hard in the outfield. He was obviously unhappy about his contract situation, and the Bo Sox decided it was time to trade the fan favorite and perennial all-star. At the trade deadline, the Red Sox sent Ramirez to the Los Angeles Dodgers in a 3-team deal that also included the Pittsburgh Pirates. Boston received Canadian slugger Jason Bay in return. Before Ramirez debuted for the Dodgers in August, they stood at 54-54, but they caught fire over the final 2 months and narrowly fought off the Arizona Diamondbacks to win the NL West by 2 games, with a record of 84-78. Ramirez was a key reason why, batting a ridiculous .396 with 17 home runs and 53 RBIs, and an insane OPS of 1,232. Over a 2-month stretch, it just doesn't get any better than that. Ramirez and the Dodgers swept the top-seeded Chicago Cubs in the NLDS before losing to the Philadelphia Phillies in the NLCS. But hey, if the Dodgers didn't pick up Manny, there's no way they would have made the postseason. He took them from playoff bubble team to championship contention in just 2 months. Number 6, Dwayne Rollison fuels the Oilers' Stanley Cup run, 2006. The Oilers were fighting hard with the Vancouver Canucks for the final playoff spot in the Western Conference during the 2005 and 06 season. The Oilers could score goals all right, while defenseman Chris Pronger led the way on a stacked blue line. The only problem? Edmonton didn't have a reliable number 1 goalie. So GM Kevin Lowe acquired Minnesota Wild netminder Dwayne Rollison for 1st and 3rd round picks. The veteran goalie did just enough to help Edmonton squeak into the postseason as the 8th seed, but Rollison performed at a nearly unstoppable level once it was prime time. He led the Oilers to a shocking sweep over the NHL's top team, the Detroit Red Wings, in round 1. The Oilers then went on to defeat the powerhouse San Jose Sharks and the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim, booking a trip to the Stanley Cup Finals against the Carolina Hurricanes. Unfortunately, Rollison was injured in Game 1 after an ugly collision, and he was out for the remainder of the series. Edmonton lost a heartbreaker in Game 7, but you wonder how different it could have been with Rollison. If the Oilers had won the Cup, there's no doubt Rollison would have been the Conn Smythe winner. In 18 playoff games, he had a ridiculous .927 save percentage and 2.33 goals against average. The Oilers went from playoff bubble team to 1 game away from a championship. Number 5, the Mets acquired Yoenis Cespedes for World Series run 2015. The New York Mets were battling hard with the World Series favorite Washington Nationals for the NL East Division crown during the 2015 season. The Mets stood at just 53-50 heading into the month of August, but they had acquired Detroit Tiger slugger Yoenis Cespedes at the deadline in exchange for Michael Fulmer and Luis Cessa. And as it turned out, getting Cespedes was the final piece New York needed to break through. The Mets went 20-8 in the month of August and distanced themselves from the Nationals, running away with the NL East crown. Cespedes batted .287 with 17 homers, 44 RBIs, and an OPS of .942 in 57 games for them. The Mets took down the heavily favored LA Dodgers in the NLDS before sweeping the Chicago Cubs in the NLCS to reach the World Series. The Mets lost to the Kansas City Royals in 5 games. But so what? They were barely hanging on in the playoff race before acquiring Cespedes. Then he took them to the Fall Classic for the first time in 15 years. It's a good move if you ask us. Number 4, the Islanders get Butch Goring, the final piece, 1980. The New York Islanders were loaded with stars, including Brian Trottier, Mike Bossy, and Dennis Potvin during the 70s. But they were unable to get over the hump, and it was clear that they were missing that one final piece. At the 1980 trade deadline, the Islanders acquired Butch Goring from the Los Angeles Kings in exchange for Dave Lewis and Billy Harris, and the hockey world would change forever. Goring stepped in and provided the necessary hard-nosed effort the Islanders were looking for. He scored 19 points in 21 playoff games to help them win their first Stanley Cup, which was the first of 4 straight on Long Island. Not only did Goring save the Isles' 1979 and 80 season, but he saved the franchise for good by helping them win those 4 straight championships. Number 3, the Lakers paired Pau Gasol with Kobe Bryant, 2008. The Lakers had struggled after trading away Shaquille O'Neal to the Miami Heat in 2004. They missed the playoffs in 2005 and were eliminated in the first round over each of the next 2 years. Clearly, Kobe needed some help if he was going to take the Lakers back to the promised land. So before the 2008 trade deadline, the Lakers acquired Spanish big man Pau Gasol from the Memphis Grizzlies in a massive deal that saw younger brother Marc Gasol, 3 other players, and a trio of draft picks headed the other way. Pau fueled the Lakers' offense and helped them run through the Western Conference in the postseason, where they took down the arch-rival San Antonio Spurs in the conference finals. The Lakers reached the NBA Finals, but fell to the Boston Celtics in 6 games. But without Pau Gasol, who averaged 18 points, 7 rebounds, and 3.5 assists per game, the Lakers definitely don't reach the finals. By the way, he and Kobe Bryant led the Lakers to consecutive championships in 2009 and 2010. So we'd say this deal kind of worked out just fine for LA. Number 2, Jeff Carter becomes a King 2012. The Los Angeles Kings entered the 2011 and 12 season as a Stanley Cup favorite, having acquired Philadelphia Flyers star Mike Richards in the summer. But the team was struggling to score goals, and they were simply fighting for one of the final playoff spots in the Western Conference. At the 2012 trade deadline, Kings GM Dean Lombardi traded away blue liner Jack Johnson and a first-round pick to the Columbus Blue Jackets for sniper Jeff Carter, reuniting him with the aforementioned Mike Richards. The two had led Philly to the Stanley Cup Final in 2010 and were both traded by the Flyers in the summer of 2011. Carter tallied 6 goals and 9 points in 16 games for the Kings, helping them earn the A seed in the West. But Carter really turned it up a notch in the playoffs, where LA upset the top 3 seeds in the conference en route to a Stanley Cup Final appearance. And in the finals, the Kings defeated the New Jersey Devils in 6 games to win their first ever Stanley Cup championship. Carter paced the way with 8 goals and 5 assists in 20 playoff games, including 3 game winners. Without him, the Kings don't win the Stanley Cup. Not only that, but maybe, just maybe, they don't even make the playoffs. Carter led Los Angeles to another Stanley Cup in 2014. So that trade was worth it. Number 1, the Pistons add the second Wallace, 2004. The Detroit Pistons were duking it out with the Indiana Pacers and the New Jersey Nets for Eastern Conference supremacy during the 2003 and 2004 season. But it was clear that head coach Larry Brown needed that one final piece to complement his core of Chauncey Billups, Rip Hamilton, and Ben Wallace. So at the 2004 trade deadline, the Pistons acquired Rasheed Wallace from the Atlanta Hawks. Wallace was the perfect fit for Brown's system. He and Ben locked down the opposition's top stars. The Pistons reached the NBA Finals, where they met a heavily favored LA Lakers team that featured 4 future Hall of Famers: Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, Gary Payton, and Karl Malone. But Detroit's defense completely shut down LA's top stars, and they shocked the Lakers in 5 games. Rasheed Wallace averaged 13 points and 7.8 rebounds per game during the postseason. Indeed, he was that final piece the Pistons needed to reach the top of the mountain. What other trades completely saved the team's season? Join us in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps us out a ton and we truly appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.